Welcome everyone to Go Live. I try and time it, but Ace has got the music stops late, so you just end up seeing me doing stupid things. I blame Asa. Thank you so much for joining us on this Dag Saturday evening show. We've got a great show for you today, and we've got great guests, great topics, and got a great giveaway as well. So keep your ears and eyes peeled. Eyes and ears. I don't know how this still works, this competition, because I'm an idiot. But yeah, it's there. We're going to get the Xbox Infinite, Halo Infinite Xbox Elite Anniversary Edition controller or something like that. Limited edition controller. I messed that up. But thank you so much for joining us. It's going to be an incredible show. Co-host, co-founder, Asa. Talk to me, bro.
Yes, it is, Gaz. It's going to be a great show. Miles and Fonz. So, yeah, I know you can't blame me for your failing to start the show properly every single week. But, yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, no, definitely it's going to be a good time. Especially with these two great guests. I see Fonz drinking from his GameStop Live mug. Look at us with our...
Right.
We're so... Look at us, all branded up and shit. Jeez, look at this. All swagged up, wearing the hat. This is why. This is how you stay single. So thank you, Fonz Aureli.
I'm not single, but...
you're not single yet, but thank you so much joining us, Fonz. You had some troubles with your camera, but it's... Glad to have you back.
Yeah, I was almost cameraless for the day. That might be a good thing for some people. But anyways, I'm here. And it's thank you for, inviting me to this little gathering here today with Miles. I can't believe it. We meet again, Miles.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I can't wait to talk about the stuff we're going to get into. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be sauce. It is. There's going to be a lot of sauce. And speaking of sauce, there's a guy who likes his sauce spicy with a little bit of mayonnaise, because that sounds weird. I don't know what I'm saying today. Miles Oppie of Windows Central Gaming, thank you so much for joining us, brother.
What you doing? Is going on? I'm feeling good. I'm excited to get into it. Stacked panel. Xbox or Saturdays have basically become this huge celebration with Xbox, just show after show after show, and it's awesome seeing familiar faces in the chat, people coming to hang out, and obviously, I'm here to swim in the sauce, as they say.
Yes, come swim the sauce with us. And if you're watching Rand's show, boo, shame on you, come here. No, shout out to Rand.
Is Rand doing it again on Saturday?
Again. He does it all the time. He does it on purpose at this point. Last time it was Jez's stomach problems. Today, I had a power cut. It's like a 60% chance of him doing on a Saturday. Rebuke him if you're watching his show. But shout out to him as well. We have a great show for you today. This is a special show. This is going to be a dank one, because this is it. This is it. How often have we talked about Halo Infinite before all the time? But this is it. This is the last time we talk about it before you get to play the campaign. The full game is coming out. We have... I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Our review is coming out on Monday. I think I'm allowed to say I've played it. I've completed it. I'm not allowed to talk about it. Not allowed to talk about it at all. All I will say is Monday, when the review embargo lifts, it's going to be some sauce. But... I'm not saying it's good or bad, but Halo is Halo. Fonz, I'm so excited.
Be quiet, man. Don't say too much.
I can't say anything. I'm not saying anything. So watch out for our review. Microsoft will kind us to give us a review copy, and I've played it.
Lucky you.
Well, I can't talk about anything. But can't wait. But next week, by the way, next week I'm not here. Ace is manning the helm. Our video will be out to explain a review. I say review, but it's really my opinion on it. We don't do the reviews because GameOnDaily.com is a news aggregation platform. We want to give other people the chance to speak. Maybe one day we'll do reviews, but I don't want to bite on other content creators, if you know what that means. But we'll talk about it. Before we Well, why are we talking about Halo? Because there's a lot to talk about today that's not Halo related. I just want to talk to you, gents. This is a very good chance to talk about it. It'd be criminal not to talk about Halo the weekend before it actually releases. And because both of you gents haven't played it, or all of you haven't played it, other than the multiplayer, I would love to get your views on it and see, knowing what I know, but also what the expectations of you in chat are in terms of review scores and story and multiplayer. What do you think is going to do? What do you think is going to happen on Monday with the reviews drop? Is this going to be redemption for 343? Is this going to be, because both of you, actually, Miles and Fonz, both of you have been critical, yet you're big Halo fans, and this is a dank panel to get into this. So let me speak to, who should I speak to? For anyone who smiles the most, I'll pick you. Miles, you were smiling there the most, so I'm going to pick you.
There you go.
There you go. I know you haven't played it, and you're a big Halo fan. You joined me on the pedestal of delay Halo because, and we were in the minority, I guess, in saying that. Now things have happened. Multiplayer has been released. This is very different from Beast. What's your thoughts on how Halo will
I mean, it's no secret that I'm a big co-op guy. I talk about how mostly I play stuff co-op, mostly I play games multiplayer, and that was the crux for me being exceptionally bummed when Halo Infinite announced that this would be the first time ever we would not be able to play the co-op or the campaign co-op at launch, and that was a bummer. Like I've moved past that. I've accepted that. I've swallowed that bitter pill, and we'll play co-op someday. At some point, we'll be able to play this in co-op. And that being said, I've been a lot more excited since I've talked to people who've gone hands-on, especially during that first preview, getting to sit down and talk with folks like Jeff Grubb, Jez Corden, who infamously haven't been that big into Halo, especially on the campaign side. Jez has been an infamous Halo hater. Jez has been extremely harsh on Halo. So for him to like talk about those positive initial impressions with the kind of open world formula and how Halo has transitioned into that, and then to hear Jeff Grubb talk about how it's got the Breath of the Wild kind of moments where you get the big sense of Halo. And we all remember the first time we played Halo Combat Evolved back in the day, when you get in the Warthog for the first time and you have the feeling of, man, this game is huge. This game feels so massive. And it just seems like Halo Infinite's campaign is the evolution of that, bringing our kind of wild childhood fantasies to life on current hardware. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to play the campaign and explore this sandbox, because I love Halo, but Halo's gameplay has always been the main focus for me. And I've played the multiplayer. I know how the engine feels. I know how everything works. So even if the story is not good or bad or whatever, I'm going to have fun just exploring that sandbox, blowing stuff up, grappling grunts, throwing stuff at them. So I'm excited to give it a shot and see what a kind of new Halo story looks like after 6 years. 6 years, man.
You know what? That's so stupid, because I've played it. I can't actually talk about it, even things I would normally say. Just know that from the big smile on my face, read it as you will. I can't wait. Oh, man, I can't wait till all of you play it. But that's all I'll say. Fonz! Look, me and you, man, we talk a lot. And we and you have talked about the problems with Halo. You have been quite vocal, to the point where if 343 or Bonnie Ross was sitting in front of you, wouldn't it be a bit awkward? Because you have said it's either that she's vicarious liability.
I blame a lot on management with 343. Of course, you have to start at the top when there's issues going on with the team. And there's definitely been a lot of issues with this team and issues with the game overall. We all know about the issues that they went through, and basically having to start this over. And one thing I've always maintained is that I want a good Halo experience from 343. I want to play through a great storyline. And, this whole games as a service thing, this whole 10-year plan they speak of, it really scares me. And it's, I've been saying it for a long time now.
Yeah.
If this game doesn't end and satisfy me in the end, and it just seems like it's prolonging something, for the next Halo, because this is a 10-year plan, that's going to piss me off. That's going to make me really upset. Because I like satisfying endings, okay, in Halo games. And that is what I've been saying for a long time now, is this has to be a good story. It has to end well, and it has to make me excited for that next chapter. Yeah. And, you could do that with a games as a service game. You can make it exciting. You can make it end well and get you excited for that next one. For sure. I mean, other games have done it, so...
Yeah, true. Other games have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
excited to play it myself. I mean... from what I've heard of the beginning of the game anyway, from you and some other friends, very enjoyable. So I can't wait to play it myself.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to hear your verdict. You have to do a video as well, because people need to see your take on it. I'm really intrigued. So you're saying, Fons, that the story is so fundamental to you. What if... I'm not leading to anything here, just genuine. As you were talking, I kind of realized, because Miles was talking about complete opposite to what you were saying. Miles was saying gameplay is all. If the story sucks, it doesn't matter.
I don't think Miles said if the story sucks, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I said,
Oh, sorry.
If the story's not great, I won't be that offended as long as the core gameplay is fun, because that, for me, has been more important. Obviously, story, for a lot of people, is a big deal in Halo.
Yeah.
Even if 343 were to take on Halo and just totally change things up as far as story goes, as far as lore goes, I'd be fine with it if it was really, really solid. I don't care, in that respect. I just want a good single-player campaign. And along with single-player campaigns, along with the game mechanics, along with the, everything you do, the fun factor, it has to have a good story for me when it comes to a campaign. It has to.
Yeah, each to their own. Absolutely. I agree with you. All I'll say is I'm very excited about the future of Halo, is all I can say, being vague. I don't want to break NDAs. It's not breaking NDAs, but we've been given the benefit of playing the game. I don't want to take the mick. And it's not that, to be honest, I'm trying to be neutral, but you can see I'm very positive about it. The previews were there. Just Jeff Grubb, you stole my saying. When I said it was like Breath of the Wild, you saw my video a few weeks back. You were like, Gaz, you smart fella. Let me write this article. You piece of... Oh, I missed the beep. Oh, no. There we go.
Nah, you messed it up. Nah, it doesn't work.
I messed that up completely.
Yeah, you can't mess that.
I love you, Jeff. But yeah, Asa, talk to me. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get 2 copies of it because I think they're very busy, Microsoft. And hopefully we'll get a technalysis going soon. But it's very interesting. I love this panel. The difference between what constitutes a good game, and this is why it's going to be so interesting to see what the reviews are. Where do you sit on the fence of this Halo Infinite as a game as a service, and what Fon says about nailing the campaign for launch as opposed to in the future? Because isn't there a risk with this?
It's a risk that I've been banging on about for like a year. There's this 10-year plan and this campaign, and how does that play into a 10-year plan? What are we going to get for a single-player Halo gamer? And Halo, at its core, started off as a single-player, story-based game. What do you have for 10 years? There's got to be a plan. They're not going to have no Halo for that player for 10 years. Now I'm in this situation where I haven't played the Halo campaign, so I shouldn't be bound by the NDA. But because Gaz cannot keep his mouth shut, I'm bound by proxy. I can't say a whole lot about the Halo campaign.
You're associated with me. You're bound, 100%.
So yeah, but the gameplay versus story thing. I mean, Halo built its reputation on both, so it needs to nail both. I think through the trailers, obviously they don't give too much away on the story. There's a bit there that keeps it interesting. You've seen quite a lot of the gameplay and what they've shown, and you can say fairly confidently that that's shaping up well. All right, so I have less confidence in the story. But so Gaz hasn't told me much about the story. This isn't based on anything that he's played through. I just don't know what they're doing, what they're planning with it, how they're going to open it up and make it satisfying at the same time, which has to be the intent.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, I can't say anything about that, but yeah, that's a very good position to have previous to launch. I'm really intrigued to see what you will think when you play as well. I'm so intrigued. You know, it's so weird. The people that have played it, we sat and talked down, and we're like, what? I don't even know what to say. I can't say. But basically, normally the internet is there, right? Like the domain in Halo. Halo lore fans know about that. But there's no domain. There's no internet. There's just nothing. We're like, literally, like, someone needs to explain it to us. But one thing I will say, by the way, if you haven't seen it already, this is not a spoiler. The Banished, I didn't play Halo Wars 2. Watch a video. Let's type in Halo Wars 2 all cutscenes. And see, I didn't like the brutes that much in the old Halo games. I thought like they were like simplistic enemies. Wrong. After watching Halo Wars 2 and understanding what Atriox and his army and the Banished are, if you didn't know, and this is for non-lore fans, whilst the Covenant in the old Halo games were murking, and at their strongest point, the Banished were they couldn't even beat the Banished. And you have to watch Halo Wars 2, all the cutscenes. Just watch it. Trust me, and it will set you up for Halo Infinite so nicely. And I will say fucking, this is crazy. I can't say anything. But yeah, just Halo fans, be excited. Be very excited. It's going to be great. We had some guests on. I know people say Metacritic doesn't matter, but I think it matters. And I want to know if you're going to guess. And this is a simplistic thing. Your view matters more. Metacritic is just one thing in the puzzle to form your opinion.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think people should wholesale disregard Metacritic. Others may disagree. That's fine. But whilst you're here to humor me, Miles, what do you think? If you're going to guess, just a guess, so it'll be fun to marry up how it ends up. On Monday, just less than 2 days, we're going to find out this big game. What Halo Infinite, its score, how's it going to review? It's a big deal, man. It's a big deal. So Miles.
Big deal. Biggest, maybe arguably the biggest Xbox game of the year. So a lot of people would say
easily.
That.
Yeah.
Windows Central is doing 2 separate reviews. So I'll preface that by saying that's how we're doing the Halo Infinite campaign. The multiplayer is its own review, and then the campaign is its own review. I'm handling our multiplayer review for Halo Infinite. So I know exactly where I'm at on the multiplayer side. The campaign, if I'm just throwing out random numbers here, I'll say 90 for the multiplayer.
Okay.
And 85 for the campaign. If I'm that's where my expectations are at. Again, Metacritic is a ugly conversation 99% of the time, but if I'm throwing out some guesses, that's where I'm at.
Just a guess, yeah. I know Metacritic is quite prominent, and yeah, you're right. It is a loaded kind of subject, but if you peel away all the BS and controversy, it's good to get kind of ideas. That's a very good score. 90 for multiplayer. I think I'd vote it similar, actually, but okay. Yeah. Fonz. Fonz.
So
60 for everything. Fonz, you hate everything. That's what everyone says about you.
Come on. No. The multiplayer is great. It does have its issues with progression and stuff, but they're working on that, right? So, you know what? It was just Thanksgiving break and stuff. People need to just give them some time. They'll work it out.
I disagree, but okay.
So I now it seems like they're separating the two in terms of scores. Okay, I'd say maybe a 90 for I'd go with that for the multiplayer, and maybe around 78 to 80 for the campaign. Okay, that's just a guess based on my experience with the previous campaigns underneath 343. No hate, no shade. I'm just worried. You know what? At the same time, I'm kind of optimistic because of what we've seen so far. It looks really fun and really good, but there's just certain aspects of it that scare me a bit when it comes to the story. especially so far with the showing of new Cortana, I would say.
Yeah.
A little worried there. But we'll see how it plays out. It might be fun. The story might even be fun. Who knows?
Yeah.
So
no,
I hear that there is more of an element of Master Chief seems more humanized in this game, and that is a plus in my opinion. I think they need to do a little bit more of that. So
we're going to be in party chat when you talk about that. One thing you mentioned actually reminded me. So 343 have come out and said, the problem with the game modes and stuff on the multiplayer, that will come by the end of the year, but it won't come for launch of the game. I don't think that's good enough. I think it should be judged on the game when it's released. So when I factor if I were to do a score, not that we do, I would definitely factor that in. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. It was a beta, and now it's not a beta. It's coming later. No, day one, the launch. That's how you should judge it. So I don't think it's good enough. I'm sorry, 343. I know it sounds harsh, but this is a basic thing. You don't have game modes separate. I'm so sick of Oddball, man. Sick of Oddball. No one does the objective. My KD's gone down massively. It was 1.3, now it's 1.9 or 1.09 or something.
The embargo is Monday. What's up, Monday?
Monday morning. Okay. So it's midnight your time, I think, and it's ours 8 a.m. I might release my review a little bit later in the day because I'm not efficient like Colt Eastwood, who's like a machine, and he churns out these reviews and videos that are high quality like nothing. But I'm sure he'll have it ready first thing. Shout out to the 121 people watching. Smash that like button. We're going to get into some sauce. Hoggy Channy, thank you so much for the chat. He goes, Gaz, since you played it and will rate it, and like me, you are disappointed by the co-op, will the co-op delay affect your rating of the game? I don't have a rating for the game. I don't score it. But I will say something that I've said repeatedly. The game is screaming for co-op. You will agree with me when you play it. And I think it should factor into the reviews. But wait for the review, but people just don't worry is my general point of it. I don't know if that's it's not breaking anything. It's just like positive.
Yes, just hold up on talking about too much.
Yeah, too much. Yeah, I'm just like, someone's watching me at Microsoft. He's like, I don't care if you're saying good things. But and I'm repeating exactly what I've said before. And this is what people who have had hands-on previews have said things like this anyway. So, but don't worry. Review will abide by the NDA. So Halo, it's happening. This is it. Less than 48 hours, we find out whether it bangs or not. Previously, I said if it's anything below 90 on a meta, not good enough.
Damn, you hold fast to that. Are you still in the camp that if it's not a 90, it's not a banger? Is that your firm stand?
I'm not there. I'll be honest with you. I'm not there. And whilst I'm shackled in terms of what I can say, I'm not there for a variety of reasons. I'm very positive about the future of Halo, but having that kind of view,
I don't think it should get a 90. It has to get a 90. I don't believe that at all.
I mean, even the multiplayer. I think
a banger could be at 85 and be a banger,
Yeah, so I was very strict on that. And to be honest, it's a bit disappointing that we can't have an expectation for an Xbox heavyweight like Halo to be in the 90s. Because if The Last of Us, you said anything below 90, you'd be like, ooh, what happened there? But that's just a simplistic approach. I don't know where I am at. Very good question, Miles. And I've been pondering over that for a while now. And I think I don't know. I'm not there. Yeah, I can't talk about it. You have to understand. If I could, I would explain my rationale a bit more. But it'll be clear. Monday is going to be mad when the review embargo releases. Oh, man. Asa, I know you don't care about review scores and stuff, Metacritic, but if I have to ask you, what's your view on this whole, my ancient view, I guess, the 90 plus, that's okay. And generally, where do you think it would, guessing, sit?
I don't particularly hate or love Metacritic. Metacritic is like a mathematical function. It just aggregates some scores. It's not their fault what the scores do.
Yeah.
And Halo's reviews, I mean, I've not expected it to score massively high. It's a very complicated issue industry-wide. Review scores don't mean as much as they should. There's not a consistent framework to critique a game on. So for that reason, I don't particularly care for review scores. And if there was, like, Halo is really difficult because I expect like Windows Central, most people are going to split off the multiplayer and the campaign because that's how Microsoft have positioned them. So it's kind of the right thing to do. But should it be the right thing to do? Why have Microsoft positioned them like that? It's a massive conversation we've had a few times. Should Halo be penalized because the campaign is now absent of multiplayer and there's this free-to-play thing going on? It's just a mess. So what the score is, I don't care. If the game is good, I'm happy. Everyone, and this is the thing with any Microsoft game, most people that have a vague interest in it probably have Game Pass and are probably going to play it for themselves. So I know you're putting a lot of work in, Miles, but you're wasting your time. Don't need to review it. No, that's not what I'm saying, but people are going to form their own opinions, aren't they? It's there to play, so...
Yeah, no, definitely. Form your opinions. And Dodge, thank you so much for the £4.49 super chat. He goes, Metacritic isn't the be-all and end-all. Make up your own mind. He's quoting me when I said in a previous show. Yes, it is. And I stick by that. It's not the be-all and end-all, but it is important. At least for me. But yeah, so moving away from Halo Infinite, I can't wait to have the panel's thoughts on it. I'm going to be calling you guys. What's up? Talk to me and get your thoughts on it because it's going to be a mad one. Moving next. Look, so you did an incredible video. In fact, actually, in fairness, I rewatched it just before the start of this show. Fonzarelli, Starfield. Starfield got more details released this week, and that got me juicy. But your video got me even more juiced up than Todd Howard did because you, Todd Howard, what's his name? Yeah, Todd Howard. Yeah,
Todd Howard.
Because you got me juiced. You got me sauced.
I don't know how to react to that, but thank you, I think. But no, this new update that they did, though, it's, more of a teaser than like showing us too much. We're not seeing enough of this game, period. Like, I need to see more. And I'm already hyped for this game. But what they have shown so far, it's very intriguing. What they've said about the game is very intriguing. I love the fact that this whole thing about, you're showing my video up on there. I appreciate that, man. You got look at that. Ace is working, isn't he?
So the architect.
No, I really appreciate that, like what they're doing with this game. And it seems like Todd Howard is pouring a lot of love into this game. Like, this is his baby. This is something that he's been working on for many years with the team. And I think this one is going to be, this is the next Skyrim. This is it. Like, this is going to be Skyrim in space. And that's how he's even, labeled it. Like, it's going to be amazing. You're going to have a lot of the same mechanics, but then you're going to have some different mechanics there. They talked about some unique mechanics they've never done in their other games before. So that intrigues me to see what those are. The fact that they talk about how you're going to be able to go to different worlds, and there's a couple of moments, he said there's a couple of big moments within this game that you're going to be stepping out into the world for the first time or into an area for the first time and just be taken away. And that kind of thing is what gets me about these types of games, about Bethesda RPGs. People say don't get excited. We don't know too much. I'm sorry. I'm a Bethesda fan. And when they come out with a new RPG like this, I'm going to get excited. I don't care.
100%. And I agree with your title because you were saying it's like, this is, what was your title? It was Starfield will be insane. Possible game of the gen. And I don't think that's a far-fetched statement because, I'm going back to your statement about the opening up and you see this vista. It's like Interstellar, when they land on that planet.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And they do that in every one of their games, really, if you think about it. I mean, Fallout, they do the same thing. They come out of the vault. Boom, you're in this world.
That was a moment.
In Oblivion, you come out of the sewers. Boom, you're in this massive world. I cannot wait to feel. I love feeling that in games. People always say, I'm negative about games. I'm giving you a lot of positive here. I'm telling you, because these are the types of games that I love. I love Western RPGs. These are my favorite types of games, man.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to dive into this. Matter of fact, I took a whole week vacation for this. So I set it up. I got my vacation set, and I'm going to take it as soon as this game launches.
That's a sick show, actually. I need to do that. When's the it's 11/11/22.
Might
do. That's well forward facing there. You booking your holiday.
I did the same thing for Red Dead Redemption 2. I did the same thing for Cyberpunk. I always do that for these big games. You have to.
See, I didn't do that for Red Dead Redemption, and I'm screwed because I still haven't played that, and I need a week off to play that. I know it's criminal.
It's
like, why am I here? I know it's stupid.
Yeah, why are you here? Go.
Why am I here?
Get off the show. Asa can take over. Go play.
He'll take over next week, definitely.
The Starfield's looking incredible.
Yeah, now Starfield is. So, Miles, I'm going to kind of go into some of the bits that. Well, generally, what's your take on Starfield? Are you excited for it?
I'm excited to see Bethesda try something new. I mean, it's been a long time since we've gotten a new Bethesda IP. We all have those memories of the transition from Fallout 2 to Fallout 3 and the leaving the vault moment you guys were talking about with Morrowind and Oblivion, that seeing the scope of this open world. But a lot of people, myself included, are excited because this means fresh possibilities. A lot of these legacy franchises, your Fallouts, your Elder Scrolls, at a certain point, you kind of have to cater to somebody from the past. So you're not allowed to really move something forward without completely forgetting somebody from the past. As we've seen with a lot of conversations surrounding Halo, there's people who want to play Halo a certain way, and there's there's this expectation that they can play Halo a certain way. Me with co-op, for example. So I'm excited to see this team have a brand new idea, a brand new IP with zero expectations in terms of this has to be this. You did this in Oblivion, so you have to do this here. And I'm excited to let them kind of be a little more creative here, because I was wildly disappointed by Fallout 4. Fallout 3, one of my favorite games of all time. Fallout 4 I felt like some sort of expansion pack to Fallout 3, and I didn't finish it. I was shocked. I was there day one for launch and so excited, so hyped for Fallout 4, because Fallout 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. And then I booted up Fallout 4. And I'm like, this is the same game. Like, this is the same game. Like, the story's not even as good. So
it's not.
I was really disappointed about Fallout 4. So I believe in Bethesda, and I want Bethesda to have the flexibility to try something new. And that's why I'm excited about Starfield, because much like space, the possibilities are endless here.
God, come on! And minus,
you know what? Speaking of that, what was that other space game where you went planet to planet? Hello Games made it. Hello Games.
No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky. Yeah, this is going to be like No Man's Sky, but with like a good narrative and like good game mechanics and, you know, some point to going to each planet and having fun, you know. This is going to be that game that we all wanted No Man's Sky to be. Let's be honest. This is what it's going to be. This is what it sounds like anyway. And that's my hope, because I really wanted No Man's Sky to be something special like that, but just fell flat for me. I know some people say it's gotten better, but you know.
And I really like what, Miles, you said about the fact that there's no preconceived notions going into Starfield. This is fresh. And it's going to be, and for me, and I've said this before, like sci-fi future space stuff is amazing, is my thing. So them doing that, it hits home. And like you say, even though as cheesy as it sounds, possibilities are endless. It's space, right? But saying that, though, Todd Howard also did say that it borrows the DNA from Bethesda games. Its skill system borrows things from Elder Scrolls and Fallout. So there's that as well. And Fonz, in your video, you mentioned that whilst it's a new engine, I think it's borrowing stuff from the previous ones.
Yeah, well, it's an upgrade from the creation engine. This is an iteration. This is just a step up. We don't know how much a step up it is, but we did hear that the animations have completely been overhauled. overhauled. That is one thing that we did here. And that, thankfully, is something that needed to be done. Because the animations with those older Bethesda games, come on, they're not very good. Even in Fallout 4, it's not great. So we're going to be able to see this new engine. And, you know, we only seen the snippets of the guy walking up the ladder, walking by. And it looks good, but I want to see, like, actual gameplay. That's what I want to see. And I'm sure the next time they really show this, they're going to showcase it. It's going to be a big deal. It's probably going to be on the E3 stage, and they're going to really showcase this thing, show you a bunch of gameplay, and get us hyped even more, and get all the naysayers in the chat to be quiet. This game is going to be good.
I have a feeling, just based on the very, very brief glimpse of that engine, that it might be a little bit, I don't know, slower paced because of the way things worked there. But I don't know. What interested me was what you said in your video about the factions, which you really well explained. You got the United Colonies, the Freestar Collective, the Pirates of the Crimson Fleet. I mean, the names kind of give you a vibe of what they are anyway.
And you know there's going to be other factions in the game. This is a massive game. And, you know, Todd, that's one thing they're driving home, that this game is really huge. You're going to be playing this game for years, they say. You know, just like a lot of people played Skyrim for years. So much to do. They're putting a lot into this, and that's what people need to realize. This is not just something they're just, you know, pushing out there and saying, hey, get something into Game Pass. This game is going to be huge.
You know what, that's funny there. I'm glad you reminded me about that, because they were making a reference to Skyrim and saying, like, the game, how it launched and what then players made it eventually after its release, it's a different beast. And they want the same thing to happen to Starfield, that over time it will develop. And it's, oh my God, Miles, your quote, endless possibilities, because it's space. I mean, you can do so much in space because of all that space.
Because of all that space.
All that space. Asa,
oh man,
do you enjoy games? No, do you enjoy Bethesda's,
no, he's just here.
RPGs? Do you enjoy those RPGs?
If you look really closely, there's a Skyrim poster.
Oh yeah,
around there. There's a Skyrim display
there
that suggests that I do like them, and the stuff that Todd Howell was saying in the team, and the stuff that Fonz has covered in his video, that this is in fact going to be Skyrim and Fallout in space, as everybody anticipated, but it's taken to this point to get that absolute confirmation that that's what we can expect from it. In terms of the creation engine 2 that they've got, the iterative upgrade, they showed the trailer that they showed before, and I should bring it up really, it was included in the video of Fonz's that I showed a minute ago, so do check out Fonz's channel as well. But that in-engine cutscene, if that's representative of what they can deliver, it's not, by the way. Like, on a high-end PC, they'll deliver that, but I'll be surprised if the Series X one has all of the technologies that are on display there. That looked phenomenal. Okay, it was quite low-key, it was quite subtle, but it was beautiful. Technologically, it was just like, that's an amazing trailer. They didn't have explosions everywhere and much going on, but just the way it was lit was like, wow. Everything is perfect. My concern for the game is that space is endless and huge and big, and scale has...
You just turned Miles positive to a negative.
No, it's a concern. I get, like, it can be a positive, but as things get bigger, it gets harder to curate them. And we've seen in many spacefaring games, you remember the hype around Mass Effect, the first one before it came out, about how expansive it was and how you're going to have all of these planets to explore. And then it came out and it was a phenomenal game, but you don't have that much space to explore. Each planet is like a village. Really, you go into a little area and you explore. You go into a little area and then you hop to the next one, and it becomes kind of like compartmentalized levels rather than whole planets. Starfield can take that approach. The Outer Worlds 2 very much takes that approach, and you can build a great game in there. But then it is noticeable that you're confined. Like, you can't come away from the Outer Worlds and say, I was exploring the galaxy there. You're not, right? Starfield sounds like they're being more ambitious and they want you to explore the galaxy, and my concern is that the galaxy might be boring. Right?
The only
if you
thing
have
I
a
could
whole
say
planet
to
to
that,
explore, like, be careful.
The only thing I could say to that is, you're right, especially when you go back to Mass Effect, but I think a lot of that was a limitation of the consoles at that time. Think about it now. These consoles can do so much more. And with Todd Howard and the rest of the crew that was talking on the last video that they put out, the update, they met, or no, it was a few updates ago. They were talking about how, like, there was one city, I think it was called Aquila, and they were talking about surrounding this city, there was a bunch of creatures and stuff that the people were getting eaten up by, or they had to fight off against. And that gives me hope that yes, there is going to be surrounding areas you can kind of explore, not just within cities. You're not just going to a planet, going within a city, and that's it. Hopefully, yes, you will be able to explore around these cities.
But
and
that raises the question, though.
I like
that city in your example. Are there other cities on that planet, or is that planet a city and surrounding area?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, and we don't know too much yet, and that may be a thing. But I'm not going to be too upset if there's a lot of planets with cities to explore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to be too upset because I really think that they are trying to make this game a really big, ambitious thing. I think they really want people to play this for years and years and years. I think they want another Skyrim on their hands because that's just lucrative as hell for the company.
Yeah.
I mean,
still selling.
This.
Decade
Still
later,
selling to
Skyrim
this
is
day.
still
Yeah.
cranking it out.
It's
God,
crazy.
selling.
It's an anniversary edition. It has to, doesn't it? I will say, like, when I say that's my concern for it, it's not that I expect it to be a bad game. I'm excited for it, and I think it'll be phenomenal. But that's just they're going to have to navigate that and be a little bit careful in what they deliver, because it is a challenge that they've set themselves. It's a grand ambition.
Concerns
and
are
it's
something
hard
to be
execute.
had. Yeah, you should have concerns. We all should. My one concern about this thing is, like Miles had mentioned earlier, you played through Fallout 3 and it was incredible, right? And then you play Fallout 4, and though it was much of the same, the story wasn't as good, but also the choices within the dialogues wasn't as good either. There was a lack of choice, really, in that game. That's something else I want to see that they go back to, is giving us more choice in the dialogue options.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually. The RPG elements, something has to give. I don't think the scope will be as grand as it sounds, because game design, even though the consoles are capable, someone has to develop that world, and there'll be a multitude of planets. Either they go down the procedural route, which No Man's Sky did, but then you forsake the integrity of the world and narrative and stuff, which I doubt Starfield is going. But then you have to mention all those points about the direct dialogue and stuff, which they can perhaps tone down because space is also quite vast and empty, so they don't have to maybe make it as dense in the cities. I don't know how. There's a lot of questions here, but they seem genuinely really excited. Despite the fact that we haven't seen much of Starfield, it's the enthusiasm in which Todd Howard speaks very sincerely about how grand this game was intended to be, and he still maintains that very clearly in his conversations. And it really exudes confidence in the game. So he comes across very sincere. And that's why I'm like listening to him and is like, right, this is the game they wanted. This is what they said. Wanted to make years ago, 20 years ago or something. They didn't have the tech. Now they can realize it. So I'm very excited. And I love the notion of just playing an RPG in space. My ideal game. Sorry, go ahead, Fons.
Oh, I was going to say, and there's a difference with the way Todd speaks on this game than he did, say, with Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Okay. Fallout
Great
76,
point.
it was just, kind of a mechanical thing up on stage, 16 times the detail, blah, blah, blah. No real passion behind it. I see and feel a lot of passion coming from him when he talks about Starfield. That is the main difference here. And that has me excited too, because when you see developers really passionate about something and really hype on something, it speaks to me as a gamer. It makes me take notice. So
yeah,
I see that.
I think as we get older as well and we witness these interviews and stuff, we start to figure out like the truth from when someone's kind of acting up, and Todd Howard is almost bursting at the seams at how much he wants to talk about. He doesn't look very emphatic because he's got that very like thingy face. It's like, but he is quite excited. Sorry, Todd Howard, if you're watching this, you're probably not. Shout out to 180 people watching. Thank you so much. We're going to get into it. The next topic, stay tuned, because we're going to give away the Halo Infinite controller limited edition. I don't think you can even buy these now because scalpers have taken it, including us. I'm not scalping, we're giving it to you. So should I do it now?
Do what?
Let's do it now.
What to do.
Let's do it.
I won. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay! Take it.
You know
Such a
what,
good
Gaz?
controller, by the way.
Actually, you did it last time. You tried to talk through the competition, and it made everything way more complicated. So maybe keep your mouth
Yes.
shut. The competition is very simple. If you watched Go Live last week, or if you caught it on Spotify, then you already have the first part of the answer. If you didn't, you're just going to have to go back and fish it out. Second part of the answer, to win this packaged, wrapped, brand new, fancy controller. Second part of the answer is .com. If you put it with the first part of the answer, if you put it with the first part of the answer, you get something amazing. But that's not what you need to do right now. What you need to do is get that full answer. Find the GameOnDaily Twitter account. Isla, if you're there, please link the tweet. DM the answer to the GameOnDaily Twitter account. Retweet the tweet, and you're
They
entered into
came
the
in
competition.
so quick.
So
My DMs are flying already.
this is good. For
So one of you is going to
clarity
win.
and transparency, it's not first come, first served. You can wait until the end of the show. You can fish out the answers whenever you want. During the next week, we will get a random number generator, pick the DM, then we will verify that the account has followed GameOnDaily and retweeted the competition. So if you haven't done that, make sure you do, because you could win the competition and lose your chance by not following and retweeting. Simple as that. Good luck.
Yeah. Oh my god, my DMs are going ding. How do I turn this off? All I'm going to hear is ding. But actually, there's not that many. So just enter into it. Oh, actually, well, there is now. Oh my god. But do it. So what? Someone's going to win. Oh, are we going to live stream that? You might as well do it on Go Live next week, right?
Well,
That'd be sick. Do it next week. Saturday, Go Live. Someone's going to win that controller. Please don't be in some next country so we have to ship it. That's good. Well, you're going to ship it, so good luck. Could be any country. Doesn't matter. Ace is going to sort it out. But yeah, it's a dang controller, by the way. The only thing that annoys me is there's no the game share button. You know what I'm talking about. The normal Xbox thingy share thing. But I'm using this primarily, and this... Oh, so dank. Yeah, great competition, please. And we have more coming as well. More competition, not for that controller because we'd be broke by the end of that. But we've got other games going on. The next giveaway, actually, I say that, is an Xbox Series S. Yes, that's right. We're giving you away an Xbox Series S that's been sat under my bed from an old competition that didn't actually complete because there was a Smash Brothers thing that flopped because the Smash community is weird. Yeah, that's for you. Yeah, oh, trust me, there's a whole story behind that. Can't believe that. We tried so hard. The world is not a nice place. But yeah, thank you so much. And enter into the competition. Check out GameOnDaily.com. And good luck. Good luck. Next topic is... the Video Game Awards. Predictions. What's happening. Controversies. Because,
Aluminium.
Bloody aluminium. Aluminum. Who says aluminum? Get the
American,
out of here.
America. Hell yeah.
Aluminum.
Aluminum gang. Get out of here.
Sounds so strong, am I right?
Before we get into that. Shut up. Aluminium sounds right. Okay. Not aluminum.
Even when you say it, it sounds dainty. Aluminium.
Dainty. Aluminium. The more I say it, it sounds like Harry Potter casting a spell. Wingardium Leviosa. Aluminium.
Aluminum.
Aluminum sounds weird. And Lynx is called Axe in America. Axe.
We're doing this.
Anyway.
Come on.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Ace is like, I've had enough. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, but that's fun talk. Yudani asked this question. Do you think a good Halo review on the campaign will result in more interest in the free-to-play multiplayer? What if both do better Xbox Game Pass? Well, yes, the answer is yes. By how much, I don't know, but definitely if you can get positive vibes from the reviews, which a lot of publications won't be doing what Miles is doing, which is separating the multiplayer and single player. So people will then just assume, well, that will have a lot of goodwill built in it. But yeah, I definitely think that. I think the panel will agree that a good scoring Halo review will have a positive boon on the multiplayer numbers, surely. Even if it's based on the single player, no? Yes, they agree with me. They're sitting there silently. Yeah. So let's go back to talk about the Video Game Awards. So this is a big event. Jeff Keighley, who we famously made fun of in our video, but in a jokey way,
Not famously.
hosting. Huh?
Not that famously.
Yeah. Not that famously made fun of. In our video, shout out to Jeff, as much as he hates Xbox. He's got a show, the Video Game Awards. This is the show, the prestigious show, causing controversies all the way from Forza down to Activision. So I've been just barely following it, but it looks like, and this is crazy actually if you think about it, Jeff Keighley has announced that Activision won't, they said that previously they said they wouldn't pick a side on this whole thing, and then people very quickly reminded Jeff that he was very impassioned when it came to Hideo Kojima's treatment at Konami, but he was refusing to take a public stance here. What a surprise! It's Kojima. He loves him. He loves Kojima. Let him love Kojima. But the Activision thing is quite serious business. It sounds like it's an absolute nightmare. Now you hear about these stories all the time, but when Sony and Phil Spencer are saying this is concerning, it's really bad at Activision, to the point where they've now embargoed them. They're not featuring on the show. What is it? Miles, do you know exactly what's happened with the Jeff Keighley thing? With the Video Game Awards?
There was basically some pressure for Jeff Keighley to address the Activision concerns, because obviously there are games nominated that are from Activision this year. The people have also pointed out that one of the board members of the Game Awards is from Activision as well. And so the headline from the article that went viral was kind of a little clickbaity. It wasn't like Jeff didn't say, I'm not taking a side. Just the pressure was that he wasn't talking out about the Activision situation. So he has since come out and said that outside of the nominations for their games, Activision won't be featured in any capacity at the Game Awards. And went on to say, we got to take a stand and, support developers and all that stuff that a lot of people wanted to hear, which is good. I mean, like you said, Activision's in a lot of trouble in a lot of people's eyes. You had Nintendo. When Nintendo, like Xbox is one thing, Xbox is pretty vocal, PlayStation is less so, but when Nintendo comes out and makes a public statement saying like, we are upset and disappointed by this behavior, then you have made a humongous mistake, because Nintendo almost never addresses anything of this capacity. But Activision, kind of just a mess. I mean, their culture, as we've seen, as we get all these reports from people inside, there's a lot of terrible things going on. And, I know the Game Awards are about celebrating the games, celebrating the developers, and it's hard to celebrate the games and developers while simultaneously ignoring all of this drama and controversy surrounding it. So that was the pressure that Jeff Keighley maybe was going to have Activision showing new game trailers and advertising Activision products in the midst of all of this. But he has said that is not the case.
Okay.
So
he did say that there's no he can confirm that it's not part, Activision Blizzard is not part of this year's Game Awards beyond his nominations. So, and that's a sticky situation, Fonz, no? Because now, if you're Activision Blizzard, what Bobby Kotick, he's still lingering, holding on. It's like he's like that guy from Wolf of Wall Street, but not likable at all, at any level. Sorry, Bobby Kotick, but you give those vibes. I'm sorry. Yeah. Those Epstein vibes.
I look at Jeff. He's in that situation where he doesn't necessarily want to burn bridges with because you got to look at the situation like this. Yes, Bobby Kotick and a lot of these people who were doing the harassing and stuff, very bad people. Bobby knew what was going on. That's why he needs to get out. So he had to denounce this, and say, look, I don't condone any of that stuff. But at the same time, there are people there are developers there that had nothing to do with this, and they're hardworking people, and they just want to see their games do well. And you got to look at that side too. And I think that's what Jeff was trying to do. But he did have to do something to denounce what was going on. And I think he did the right thing. He finally stepped up and said, okay, no Activision, none of that's going on here at the Game Awards. We're not going to have any of that coming here. I think he did the right thing. It's a sticky situation, man. It really is.
Definitely.
Because people don't realize that too. Yes, there were some horrendous things going on there that should never have happened. But at the same time, there are good people there as well that are hardworking people trying to get their games out.
Very good point. Very good point. That's the point. Like, people, it's not that black and white, because if you want to support the people who are actually the victims of it, they're working hard. I think some have come out and said that, look, it's not that this stuff is happening. It's terrible, but don't take it out on us in a way. It's just really messy. I don't know what. And someone has to.
Bobby's got to go.
Yeah, that's just about to say that.
He's got to go. Yeah, he has to. That's the only way to save this, and the longer he sticks around, the more, unfortunately, these hardworking developers are going to get crapped on,
Yeah, it's
because a lot of people are out there boycotting games and stuff, and I don't think that's the right move.
Yeah,
I don't think that's necessarily the right move, because, again, hardworking
good intentions,
developers.
but I don't think it's the right move. You're right. I don't think so.
Yeah.
What do you think, Asa, about this situation? I know it's like a loaded thing. We don't do politics here, but it's part of the game industry. I think we have a responsibility to talk about it. Also, in solidarity for whatever. This is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, have you read some of the reports?
This isn't a topic that we've shied away from particularly. Developers coming out and saying actually boycotting our games doesn't help us, doesn't help our cause. There's better ways to stand up for them. That's worth noting. And for anybody that is boycotting Activision Blizzard games, good for you. If that's what you feel is the right thing to do, then do it. But developers have come out and said actually that doesn't help our situation. The thing with Bobby Kotick still being there is completely wild. Like, whether he's innocent or guilty is kind of irrelevant at this point. Like, his position is untenable. Doesn't matter if he's done nothing wrong, and I'm not saying that he's done nothing wrong, but like, from the outside, I'm not pointing fingers saying that he hasn't done whatever. But his position is untenable. It's so public. Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo have all come out and said Activision need to do something. They're going to lose their Call of Duty deal. Their exclusive one-year content for PlayStation. They might not get it next year. They've got to get rid of him, right? It's wild that he's still there, and it's wild that the board are standing behind him in that way and not pressuring him to leave, regardless of what he has or hasn't done. Like, it's blown up too much. You got to go. So that's a thing. I had something else as well, but it's completely gone.
It's a great point there. Maybe an indication of how much sway Bobby Kotick has on the board, but with ultimately the big picture, he has to go. You're right. It's untenable. The company's future has a massive question mark around it. And Miles, you're right. When Nintendo perk up and say something, it's really bad. It's really bad. And
it's a thing though, because you're absolutely right that Nintendo are very rarely vocal. But I've never seen in the industry at all, like, company executives, platform holders coming out and saying, we don't like what you're doing, partner. Like, partner that's really significant.
Never happened on this scale.
And it's Activision, who have massive sway, who have dominated, like, opening presentations on E3 stages for the last decade or something. Like, their marketing deals, they're horrible. I've never been a fan of the Call of Duty deals, but they're big money, big deals, big partnerships. And for these people to be coming out and tanking Activision's share price, which is what these statements have done, never seen it. It's wild. Go on.
Mad. It's so sad in the gaming industry. There's always this stigma with gamers that we're all sad and, male dominated and we don't know how to treat women. And then this stuff happens and you're like, well, there you go. And it kind of annoys me because it reaffirms a lot of those biases and the narratives to the point where I'm like, maybe, there's a problem there. It sucks. It's annoying. And Activision, I'll be honest with you, pissed me off the way they've done it, dealt with things anti-consumer anyway. So it's just like the fact that Bobby holds on so long. It's just kind of like
just to touch on what Asa was talking about with Bobby, and maybe maybe he didn't do anything, or but he knew about it. I'm sure, 100%, because when you're at a company like that and things this horrendously are going on, it gets to the top. Trust me, it gets to the top. In any business I've worked with or worked under, management knows what's going on. They know. And so that's why you got all these companies coming out talking about this and really shying away from the whole Activision thing. But they want Bobby gone. That's really what they're saying. They want him gone because you have to start at the top. He didn't take care of the situation. He needs to go. So
definitely,
you don't get to skirt all responsibility when you're in that position. And the fact that the board is not pushing for him to leave makes me feel like the board is also involved.
Complicit.
That part.
So thankfully, it sounds like there may be legal action taken against Activision that will force board members to be removed. That will be probably the only way this happens, is dragging these people down, kicking and screaming, because for whatever disgusting, awful reasons that will probably come to light at some point, they are not kicking Bobby Kotick out. And there is a fundamental reason for that. And I'm sure if he goes down, we will get some juice, some details on the lovely folks who are currently in charge at Activision Blizzard. So it sucks. And like you said, it is a super bad look for the entire industry. And we know it's not isolated to Activision. A bunch of other people have come out from other companies talking about, how widespread this is. And that is such a bad look. It makes everyone involved look complicit, whether they understand or not. And you can't just ignore certain things because it's quote unquote simply business. At a certain point, it's beyond that. It's beyond business, and you can't just turn a blind eye because you have a marketing deal for Call of Duty. Like,
that's ridiculous. No, it's good. I'm glad everyone, the big execs, took a stand. That's where it became really serious. That's put the pressure on Activision more than anything. So shout out to Jim Ryan, Phil Spencer, Nintendo, everyone who did not accept this, because you don't want to ratify that kind of behavior. Not that, but it does happen in Hollywood. We've seen it. Let's not let that happen anymore. Set a harsh example as well. There should be strong punitive measures against Activision, or whenever they find out who's actually involved and establish guilt. But talked about that. It was really good short conversation. We can do that and go live. And on that note, let's go talk about video game. That was terrible. My voice just broke there. Video Game Awards predictions. We were talking about this before the show started, because am I allowed to say it's someone's birthday? No, I shouldn't say it. Maybe I shouldn't say it.
I mean, you can say it if you want.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah, it's Miles' birthday on Thursday. Happy birthday to Miles on Thursday. Marilyn Monroe to you. I'm Marilyn Monroe to you, man. Who's gonna Marilyn Monroe?
Just beautiful.
I feel
my God. You feel a certain way,
Fonz is like. You love it. You love it, really. No WNCC, you love it. RG Viper X, thank you so much for joining. No GameOnDaily Elite Family. You know what that means. It's time. Let me adjust my altitude to dank max. No! Where's the effects? Okay, full hard. Welcome to the GameOnDaily Elite Family. I can't even regulate how it goes up or down.
You can't do that.
You can't do
I had to. I'm sorry, but that was bad.
Thank you for joining. And if any members join, I will do that again. But thank you, Joe, for the membership. It means a lot, honestly. Helps us support and pay for our wages, which are considerable. I hate gas so much, Colt. No, you don't. Video game predictions. It's time. This prediction time. We've got quite a few topics, actually. But the video game predictions on Thursday, when it's Miles Dompierre's birthday, is the day we get to see dankness. It could be double dip for you, Miles. Ooh. Talk to me, boy. Talk to me, birthday boy. in the
Yeah,
future.
so Jeff better deliver the goods. All right, that's all I'm saying. All right, he knew the Game Awards are on my birthday. I told him outright, like, listen, bro, if you're doing this on this, if you're trying to take from my day, take my thunder, you better have something up your sleeve for me. All right,
Yeah.
that's how it is.
That's how you're seeing it. If you're taking my light away, you better deliver. You might be good though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some cold ones set aside. I'm gonna be kicking back, ready for some good stuff. They have talked about how over 50% of the show is going to be game trailers and reveals. So there's going to be, I don't know, over an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of like new stuff to show, and that's exciting. That's a lot of time to show some games, guys.
Yeah.
So in terms of what I'm expecting, I imagine, obviously we're going to get updates for a lot of existing titles. When it comes to brand new reveals, I would love to see Xbox sneak a couple in there. Just give maybe one brand new reveal would make me very happy.
Brand new reveal.
There's a lot of question marks from In Exile, from Compulsion Games. There's a lot of question marks in Xbox's portfolio, and as we saw with Hellblade 2, they don't mind giving Jeff some big tasty reveals. So we had Hellblade 2, we had Perfect Dark. Let's get another one. Let's get one more. Complete the holy trinity of Game Awards reveals there, and then give me a trailer for Avowed. Let me see some gameplay for Avowed. Let me see some gameplay for Redfall. And the Hellblade thing, I'm kind of 50-50 on right now, if I'm being honest. I know everyone is expecting it. Everyone wants Hellblade. The thing that makes me hesitant about Hellblade, and this is going to bum people out who are on all aboard the Hellblade hype train. I get it. I want to see Hellblade 2. But they came out a few months ago and said, here's where we are in our production pipeline. We have a ways to go. I'm in.
Did they say that?
They had like basically a chart showing like what stage of production they're at.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was a couple months ago when they revealed that kind of. It was post E3, and they showed us that kind of like behind the scenes ish trailer. They basically said this is the point we are in development. So they still have a lot of active development to go. This isn't like just polishing state at this point. There's still a lot of game to develop. So I want Hellblade to show me gameplay the next time I see it, and if that means it's not at the Game Awards, I can wait. If they show me another CG trailer, it'll be hype. Let's be real. I'm ready, but it won't be as hype as if we see Senua just ripping people apart in a battlefield, just tearing people down, getting the blood, seeing the what this engine looks like, because we really haven't seen a lot of Unreal Engine 5 gameplay yet. So when they show that, it's got to make a big splash, because people are expecting a lot from Unreal Engine 5. Because if you remember, Hellblade 2's trailer was in-engine. The reveal trailer for Hellblade 2 was in-engine. So people now have this expectation that, oh, damn, this is what it's going to look like in-game? And that's going to be a tough thing to deliver on.
Yes, it will.
But if it looks that good, it's going to blow some minds. But those are my expectations for Xbox, at least.
You're so good at hyping me, Miles. Like, the Jadani through the super chat says, Miles, future class of TGA influencer, don't be. It's so true. You're made for this stuff, man. You have a bright future ahead of you, but mostly because you hype me too much. Oh, man. I completely took out the new reveals because I'm so desperate for them to show gameplay for the games they've already announced. So that would be enough. Funds, like Miles has got me hyped. Hellblade, Miles alluded to the notion that CGI, I just don't think that. I think that would be a fail if they
initially, when we were talking about, the Game Awards earlier in the year, I was thinking, Hellblade 2 showed first on the stage. So why not show, some gameplay? But then looking into it afterward, Miles is right. Like I think they're too early in development to show us like proper gameplay. But they could show us a CGI trailer that looks unbelievable in engine, and all that. They could do that. But I think you're more likely to see Avowed here. I really think you're going to see Avowed at the Game Awards. And I am excited for that one. So even over Hellblade 2 for me. Yeah.
Is it because Jez
because
has
I think it's
seen
time. You know what? They've been really quiet. That's why they've been really quiet about Avowed. We've had updates with Hellblade. We've had updates with other games, but Avowed has been very quiet, and they've been working tirelessly on this game. I'm sure Obsidian is, man, they're one of my favorite developers, period. So Avowed showing on the stage would just make the show for me anyway, there. But I think we're going to see that, and I didn't even think about Redfall, Miles. I don't know how far along they are on that game. I know it's supposed to come out next year, so
it's
they
coming
could
summer.
show.
So I mean, at this point, we're gonna be 6-7 months ish from launch.
So they could show that game as well, and that would be interesting to see. I'd like to see more about Redfall, but new reveals, man. I didn't even think about that. That's insane. Like, because there's so many games out there we have not seen much of. And I'm still waiting to see more. So
definitely
they're just going to add on to it, because the thing is, Xbox has got so many studios now that we're going to be inundated with games from here on out to oh my gosh, it's going to be crazy. 2023 and on is going to be insane for Xbox. Insane, people.
The fact that we're not even asking, well, I wasn't even thinking, me and you weren't even thinking of new game reveals, just shows the gameplay for the ones announced. Can you imagine? And you're right, this is mad.
You got PlayStation as well, let's not count PlayStation out.
Yeah.
PlayStation's got reveals they're going to show, I'm sure. They've been quiet on new games. They're going to show something there. You know they are. So that's exciting. Man. You think Kojima will step out on stage this year? Who knows?
Gotta have the Kojima get hype moment,
Yeah, who knows? Maybe he'll come out with an Xbox game, the rumored game. Who knows?
Oh man, that needs to happen, because Jeff Grubb is just like, he went out on a limb there. Jeff, I haven't forgotten. You said the deal was almost signed. If it doesn't happen, I'm coming for you.
I'm just throwing that out there, but I do think that I think Avowed, man, I really do. And I'm excited for that. Okay. Please show Avowed.
Yeah. And you've also got
show
massive
it for Miles' birthday, please. It's Miles' birthday. He wants to see it.
Phantom Dust reboot, Jeff. There we go.
Oh, gosh. Now you lost me.
No one gives a damn about that. Forget Phantom Dust.
He lost me. Miles, he lost me.
If that game ever happens, I'm taking 100% credit for it. That's all I'm saying.
As the only person pushing for it, you can.
If I'm not the person that reveals the Phantom Dust reboot, I don't know. I think I'm out of the industry. I think I'm done.
Colt in the chat said Xbox has too many games. There, I said it.
You always say that, Colt. It's not new.
Never have too many games. I want to be swimming in games from both companies. So
yeah, you will be swimming in the sauce at least.
And Nintendo, they're pretty cool.
Nintendo?
Sometimes.
Get the out of here, Nintendo.
Someone's got to say it, all right?
Get a proper console, Nintendo, and then I'll speak with you.
Harsh. You've also got a fan in the form of Shabs Inevitable. Thank you so much for the £5 super chat. It goes, amazing panel. Fons, you have an amazing voice. You can do audiobooks. I can so listen to you all day. There you
Appreciate you.
There you go. Thank you, Shabs, for that super chat. Danny Passion Official, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Thanks for talking about this matter. Let's go live. What matter? Oh, you mean the Blizzard thing? Maybe? I assume so. Yeah, of course. We don't shy away from discourse. Despite my massive immaturity, I am capable of allowing Asa to talk about stuff in much more nuanced stuff, because I'm incapable of talking about it with any maturity. But it belies our good nature, right? Yeah. So, Asa, this is a big reveal. Big show, actually. This is the show where they reveal the console and Hellblade. Don't you think there's a lot of pressure for them to actually show Hellblade? I think they need to do that, because I'm starting to lose confidence in Ninja Theory. If you follow Tamim, whatever his name is, the main guy, he's a party animal. Please add me on Instagram. But he is partying all the time. He's got some gorgeous looking women with him all the time, and just chilling and partying. Raw parties. Sick guy. Add me, please. I'll get danked with you. But what's happening with that game? I'm a bit concerned. With Hellblade. And
really?
Wow. I am, because I did not, I'll be honest, I did not see this timeline you talked about, Miles, but it seems like this show, also, I'll go on record to say, I think they misrepresented what that engine is capable of, because they don't make a distinction between where the CGI comes in. And whilst Hellblade 2 based on Unreal Engine 5 will look good because it's
Don't you
constrained.
remember, Gaz, when they first showed that, everybody was excited, and the very next day they put out like Ninja Theory. It was either the next day or within that week. Ninja Theory put out a little story diary video thing, and they were talking about how they were going to go to Iceland and start filming locations. So we knew it was far away. I mean, from jump, like as soon as we saw that trailer, like we found out that week.
That was following year, no, wasn't it? When they showed the Iceland thing.
I thought it was. Maybe it was later.
E3.
E3, right?
Maybe it was
6
later,
months.
but that should have told you that they're way behind. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think gameplay is a thing right now
I
to
think
show
the
us.
two biggest factors are Unreal Engine 5 development, learning that, understanding the nuances of that. Obviously,
That's true.
That's going to be a huge undertaking for any team making their first game in Unreal Engine 5.
Facts,
It's
yeah.
going to take more time. And the fact that with COVID and all of that, this is a motion capture heavy game. And talking to developers, it sounds like motion capture is one of the areas of development that was most significantly impacted by COVID.
Yeah.
And they also did build an entirely new studio as well. So
Yeah.
they've been busy, but
Yep.
I don't. Again, I'm not sure where the gameplay is going to be at come December 8th.
Miles, you brought up a great point with them using Unreal Engine 5 because, it is totally new to people, and they still got to learn all the nuances of that engine. And, you know, if anybody can do it, I think Ninja Theory are very good at learning engines because they've had incredible looking games. So I'm looking at Unreal. I don't know if you guys have really looked much up on Unreal Engine 5, like demos and stuff online. But if you haven't, talking to the chat too, go look up some Unreal Engine demos. They're amazing. Like there's stuff there that looks like real life. It's hard to tell the difference. Really is.
There's tech in Project Mara, I think, where they're showing like carpets and like level of detail with like strands and stuff. If they incorporate that with Hellblade, it could be. See, it's like an indie studio, but given all this money and or the resource to really go out of their way to build something. So whilst I'm a bit skeptical about it, either this is going to be, and Horatio says he thinks it's going to be a 2024 game. It's coming. Either it's a long ways away, which I guess that's what it is. That's what you both are saying. Or if it does come early, I don't know if it's. I don't know. The quality is there. I think they're gonna hurt from that in-engine declaration in their video. This is the first game.
Or will they, Cass?
Or will they?
Exactly.
I'll be happy to be wrong.
I think you'll be wrong. I think Ninja Theory is, at least when it comes to the visuals, they're going to knock it out of the park. It's going to be one of the most incredible looking games we've seen. It will be. It will be.
Yeah. Asa, you're the tech guy. What do you think about that? Having had sight of their initial demo, what Fonz is saying about the confidence he has in Ninja Theory delivering on the visuals of this game.
Well, so the cutscene was like letterboxed and 24 frames per second. So that's worth remembering when you talk about what they're actually going to deliver. So in engine, they actually said in engine before announcing that they were transitioning to Unreal Engine 5. So it's not in the final engine. It was in an engine.
Good point, Asa.
Asa knows
they did though, right?
You're saying it's going to look better, is what you're.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
I'm saying that the cutscenes might look like that, and I mean, there's probably going to be a 30 frames per second mode that looks pretty much at that level of visual fidelity. I will be very surprised if we see it at the Game Awards, because I will be very surprised if Ninja Theory are the first proper showing of a commercial Unreal Engine 5 game. Much as they're a fantastic studio, Unreal Engine 5 is a massive deal in what games are going to look like for the rest of the generation. It's taken a little while to ramp up, but obviously Sony have bought a small little share in Epic to make sure that everything goes smoothly for them. They've got tight relationships with the Coalition. They've got tight relationships with a bunch of studios. I will just be surprised if Hellblade 2 isn't the first. And if it's coming at supposedly at the Game Awards, it's not impossible. But like I say, I'm with Miles, I think it's probably further out, and I don't think they should show it until they are ready to show it. But I'm very excited to see whatever the first game is, to see what is going to happen. It's going to define what lighting and things look like for the rest of the generation, whatever they show.
Really?
Unreal Engine 5, well, Unreal Engine in general has been mainstay of a large amount of AAA games, and it's going to continue to be. It just is. Sony will still have their first-party engines. Microsoft have obviously got id Tech and a bunch of high-flying things. EA probably will stick with Frostbite, but Unreal Engine 5 is going to set a standard in their Lumen system, the way they're doing lighting and things. You see the first example and you'll see it carry forwards in much the same way as Unreal Engine defined the previous 2 generations of graphics. They just did, right? From the moment Gears of War came out on the Xbox 360, everything's been Unreal Engine led since then.
That's going to be a great point. Jat, shout out to Jat in the chat. Don't make me go old school. He says it will be Gears 6. That will be the first
Gears?
game.
No, they've told us that Gear 6 is not coming anytime
Not for
soon.
a while. Yeah.
They're sound like probably doing a project even in between Gears 5 and 6. So, as much as I love Gears, but not anytime soon, which is sad. I want to see those Unreal Engine 5 curb stomps. You know what I'm saying?
Miles, weren't they talking about doing something in between 5 and 6 anyway? Coalition?
Yeah, and I think there's been speculation that like, because they did an Unreal Engine 5 tech demo. I don't know if you guys checked that out, but there's speculation that's their kind of, that this project is designed to help them get familiar with Unreal Engine 5. So they're doing like a smaller scale spin-off project and then jumping into Gear 6. Or that's the current speculation.
God, a Gear 6 with Unreal Engine 5.
Just brain matter squeezing out of ears. Ooh.
Love it.
Oh,
that'd be an incredible visual heavyweight, even though Gears is overrated. Anyway, the Gears is overrated as hell. Let's not.
No, Gears is underrated as hell.
What?
Right? Yeah.
Gears needed to stop after Gears 2. This defunct of ideas that are worth any. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you sound like a clown right now.
Gears needs to change the formula. It needs to do what God of War did. Nah, it just to change the formula. And I'm not just talking about changing the camera. But this is a different conversation. We're going to go on a tangent there. Asa, you have to apologize to Dodge. Thank you for the super chat. He goes, thanks, Asa. My kids are crying now because you said Hellblade isn't going to be the first game to show off Unreal Engine's power. Kids are quite sensitive, Dodge. I don't know why they know what Unreal Engine is, but okay. Danny Passion Official, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Let's not forget that Blacksmith gameplay looks insane, and it's an Unreal Engine 5 game made by a smaller team. What the hell was Blacksmith?
Oh, Black Myths, the Wukong.
Oh, Black Myth Wukong.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That, and if that's exclusive based to PlayStation based on the rumor mill, oh
exclusive.
My god. Perfect. If that's exclusive, there's going to be hell to pay.
Just buy it on PlayStation. What do you mean? You're a gamer. Buy it on your PlayStation.
Yeah, no, but there'll be hell to pay. Like literally, generally, there's going to be so much outcry.
There's going to be a lot of people.
Upset.
Yeah, of course.
So
Wukong looks amazing. I'm buying that wherever it's at.
Yeah. It's just, Black Myth Wukong is going to be dang. That's a good point, actually. That might be the first one. So video game award predictions are pretty crazy. Could be anything, because Jeff Keighley has set a pretty decent bar. Prior to the Xbox review, there was a bit...
Quick question here. Did you guys see Jeff Keighley's recent panda gif? Because
No.
The last time he had the panda gif was the Elden Ring gameplay reveal, because that was him breaking out of gamer jail because people have been like hounding him for the Elden Ring gameplay reveal, and then he did it. So he posted a similar gif of a panda like climbing a cage. So I'm trying to think if he's been in gamer jail for some other reveal. My speculation is maybe this is where we get Breath of the Wild 2's name, like the formal name, but I don't. Do you guys have any speculation on that? Anything else that would be worthy of the panda, the Elden Ring gameplay level of anticipation?
Oh yeah, it's the reveal of Bloodborne 2.
Oh my god, that would be mad.
That would break the internet.
that would break the internet. Error cuts for the win would be all over the moon.
You know, that's the only Souls game I've finished. Or Souls type.
That's the
game,
same. Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Fix
Bloodborne.
your life, all right? My God. What is this? What in the...
I like the setting and the way it played. And, like, I just liked it better than the others. And I didn't even play the Souls series at all. I haven't played any of them. I played Sekiro because I thought it was a cool setting and stuff. That kicked my butt so hard that I quit. I rage quit. So, yeah. But Bloodborne, I beat it. It was hard, but I beat
Bloodborne's a slapper. It's an absolute slapper. No question there.
Yeah, definitely.
Some people in the chat are saying Silent Hill. Is this when we get the Silent Hill reveal?
That's been talked about for how many years now? The past couple of years, all I heard was Silent Hill. Silent Hill's rumored to be made. Silent Hill's rumored to, have, be headed by
Kojima.
What's his name? Kojima. And I'm like, okay, there's no like. We haven't seen any kind of proof to any of these rumors. We've just heard them over and over. So
yeah,
I just want it revealed so we can all move past this chapter in our lives.
Oh, you know what they might show? Blue Box's game.
Yeah,
which is Silent Hill, right?
Yeah,
right?
no, it's just silent. It's silent. There's nothing to show. Yeah, no, but
poor guys.
Gosh, no, not poor guys. They did it to themselves. They deserve everything they get.
Oh man, that's harsh.
No,
that's
they do.
harsh.
They deserve it, man. Their game doesn't start with an S and end with an L. No.
Well, they might change it now to make it. I don't know, man. I actually don't really care. They did do it to themselves, and they haven't shown anything yet. But yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a great show. I'm really hyped for it. Last year they beat the Gamescom. What, this year? Yeah. Oh my God, it's December already. The Gamescom show was rubbish. It was just Jeff's show that was more interesting. So this is going to be a great show, and Miles is set to have an even better birthday, hopefully. But yeah, what's up?
The Game Awards show is always fun.
It really is. Like it is.
We give Jeff a hard time because he's popular, right? And everyone gives him I do think he likes PlayStation and Kojima a little bit too much, but that's who cares?
It's preference. Yeah.
It's preferences, and it gives us fuel to create source, and it's fine. It's fine. Gone Mad, thank you so much for the $5 super chat as well. Look at all these handsome fellas. That's such a nice thing to say in a super chat.
Gone Mad's a good dude.
Thank you so much, Gone Mad. That's very nice of you. Now, well, the last topic is something that created some waves. The waves which will fuel the source. PlayStation plans to take out Xbox Game Pass, apparently. Clickbait. We'll talk about and add some nuance here. But Miles, it had to be Jason Schreier, man. Jason Schreier, man. You know how to get us going. This guy. You know what? As much as I like to shit on him, like comedically, I do rate him as a journalist. He's really
the dude gets work done, all right? Like
he's one of the most legit journalists in the space. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to stop making fun of him. It's just nice to do it. But I don't mean it in a bad way.
It's nice to do it. Are you sure?
It's nice to do it. But it's like SNL comedy, man.
I get your comedy. It's satire.
Yeah.
It's satire.
It is satirical. And at some point, I'm sure he loves it. Although he's actually blocked Safe, who doesn't use Twitter, but he went out of his way to find Safe, who plays him in the skits, and blocked him. Come on, Schreier. It's just fun and games. Yeah, he watches it. He's like the Eye of Sauron. He watches everything, and that's what probably makes him a good journalist. Sorry, Jason, but I'm not sorry. But Jason Schreier, you actually created Source. Well, I don't know why I'm beeping you. So Jason Schreier, for people who don't know, in the chat this week, he revealed, or Bloomberg did, I'm sure it came from Jason, that
Jason.
Yeah. Mr. Jason Schreier, PlayStation plans a new service to take on Xbox Game Pass. The way because he broke the news and he structured his article that way, it changed the conversation from the outset about, this is Xbox Game Pass versus PlayStation's new code name. What is it called? Spartacus. Now, Miles, set the scene. Set it clear. But know that the source video is still going on the preface of what Jason has said.
So yes, Bloomberg put out this report stating that probably in spring-ish, PlayStation has plans to essentially what it is merging PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now into a subscription service with 3 separate tiers. We don't have specific details for all of the tiers, but it sounds like the most expensive tier would bundle in PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PS3, and even PSP games into the service as well. So they're, kind of taking elements of Nintendo Switch Online, PS Now, and PlayStation Plus and bundling it together. It sounds like it will keep the PlayStation Plus name. So fundamentally, this is a great step for PlayStation to correct its struggling subscription service. PlayStation Now, a lot of people forget, it launched first. It launched well before Xbox Game Pass. It has failed to basically gain traction because people still think it is a streaming-only service. People don't even realize how similar fundamentally PS Now is to Xbox Game Pass, in the sense that you can download PS4 and PS5 games natively and play them on your console natively. But a lot of people don't even know that. So when it comes to marketing to a casual audience, an audience outside of the PlayStation ecosystem, PlayStation's failed. PS Now is a struggling subscription service, and under the PS Now name, I don't think there's really anything they could do to correct it at this point. But PlayStation Plus has a ton of goodwill. People love PlayStation Plus. We expect huge new games in PlayStation Plus. There's a lot of momentum with PlayStation Plus. And when you bundle that in, it's so much easier to sell that. You can say, with your PlayStation Plus subscription, now you get this and this. And if you want to pay a little bit more, you can get this. Yeah. Will we see games day and date? Not day one. It doesn't sound like day one there's going to be PlayStation games day and date. But long term, I think this makes it so much easier for that to become a possibility. Yeah. And especially with the tiers. Exactly. And maybe it's not going to be every single game. Maybe it won't be God of War, but I don't see any world where PlayStation completely ignores every other successful streaming service, because you can look at Disney Plus, you can look at Netflix, you can look at Game Pass, you can look at any subscription service. They all have an incentive, exclusive wise, a new
original content
to get you in. And then you supplement that with all the other things to keep them subscribed. So again, people think PlayStation is stupid, that PlayStation is just unwilling to change, and I don't think that's the case. They are just trying to figure out, based on their current projections and what they've invested, how they can do this in a smart way. And then, I don't know, maybe down the road, there is a world where PlayStation says, you know what, we get it. Day and date, here you go. Here's all of our biggest games. Even if they're charging more because they want to keep up the prestige of these are PlayStation games, so they have more value, so therefore you're paying more. I don't know, but that's the general Spartacus project in a nutshell. It was great summary and great way to tackle that point about the day and date, because that's what's been on the lips of people. Whether some people go out the way to declare it's not happening, like, in spite of everything you've seen this year, or in this year alone, with Sony and its U-turns, you can make that declaration with such confidence. It sounds silly to me. Never say never, baby.
Never say never, especially in this industry. Never say never. Never. Fonz, this you reached out to me and said everyone's making this out to be a Game Pass versus PlayStation, whatever, Spartacus thing. It's not remotely the same thing. What's your take on this whole thing?
Well, I think just to add to the conversation here, because Miles really he covered that perfectly. Yeah. And I think that if you look at the situation, it destroys a lot of narratives out there, a lot of fanboy narratives, when they say that games they don't buy old games on PlayStation. They don't play old games on PlayStation.
I'm so glad you
there's so
mentioned
many
that.
narratives that it just destroys because people are excited about this now. Because again, nostalgia is a hell of a drug, right? This is something that a lot of people are, because there's Sony guys out there who talk about wanting to play these old PlayStation 1 and 2 games and 3 games. And these will be provided in that, third tier, I believe. Of course, they're going to be streaming most likely because, a lot of the games are just like going to be emulated and stuff. It's not going to be at the hardware level.
Yeah.
Because you can't do games like PlayStation 3 games. It's just that the tech is so different, right? So they're going to be accepting this now, this whole situation that they're doing. And that's a great thing because this is just setting them up for a service that's kind of like Game Pass, and I personally love Game Pass. I like this type of service. Miles hit it on the head when he said that if you look at services that are successful, you need original content. You can't just go solely on multi-plats here and there and then like old content. That's not going to work, long term. I mean, look at PS Now. It really isn't doing the numbers that it should have. They just needed more within there. And yes, they, if you look forward, I think that they are going to be able to have day and date games. But I think Miles is 100% right. They're going to start with smaller titles. They'll have those smaller titles in there. They might not have the Spider-Mans or the God of Wars, the ones that do those really big numbers for them on their own. But don't say that will never happen. Because once they start getting subscriptions, I feel that will happen one day with this service.
Yeah, definitely. I think what they might end up doing is maybe have these strong, big AAA first parties released maybe a month after or 2 months to incentivize people. Like, all right, I might get this sooner, or they might make exceptions here and there. It's not so black and white. Day and date is the key thing there.
Somebody brought it up in the chat, Lord Xboss. He says Sony can't do day and date because they primarily make single player games, and that doesn't really work on a service model. I disagree completely. I'm mostly a single player gamer, and I play a lot of single player games on Game Pass. Of course it works. They just have to have a lot of content they're funneling into a service like this to make it successful. You have to have a lot of content. You can't just go in with one game every year and expect it to do numbers. It's not.
Yeah. Colt says in chat that he thinks that they're testing the waters to see if they can eventually do day and date, and that makes more sense.
Yes, of course. That's what Miles was saying. Yeah, they're going to test it out.
I do kind of agree with Lord Xbox, though. It's just like, I don't know if strict Sony template single player games without any monetization, DLC, or microtransactions can benefit that well. Asa did a good job of explaining the struggles there previously on another show.
But we'll definitely be doing more multiplayer games.
Yeah.
If you look at their acquisitions, if you look at how they've been investing, how they've been kind of diversifying, we will see more multiplayer-centric PlayStation games.
Definitely. It's, comparatively, I say easier to develop, but that's where the money is at. And that's where they've typically struggled, and they will keep trying because that's really where the money is at. Hoggy Channy, thanks so much for the $2 super chat. I didn't make the newsreel this time. Oh, well, I was actually going to do that, but I ran out of time and I ran out of things that were clever. As you can tell, there's a struggle sometimes. Asa, what's your take on this? Because I know you don't know the script of the source video, so apologies in advance. This one's a bit mad, and I think you're going to get involved in this one. It's going to be epic, this one. I'm so excited about this source video. But Asa, in terms of this comparison with Xbox Game Pass, and this is surely a sign of PlayStation really struggling to reconcile, maybe desperate to mimic the success. I can hear my voice back, so I can never speak properly. The success of Xbox Game Pass. They're trying their best. The way that's how I see it as. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, they're not mimicking Xbox Game Pass. They don't need to. If you talk about the success of a service, Xbox Game Pass is probably not even Microsoft's biggest subscription service yet. Like Gold is probably still higher overall. Yeah, they might be fairly close on that one. PlayStation Plus is a bigger service than Xbox Game Pass. Okay, it's bringing in more money and it costs them less money. It's a bigger service than Xbox Game Pass right now. In terms of positivity and industry noise, that's where Xbox Game Pass is currently big. And that's the bit that Sony do need to address, because there is... It's everybody loves Game Pass, and people will go to the Xbox ecosystem because of all the positivity around it. This story that broke, it wasn't massively interesting, because Jim Ryan directly said, yeah, we've got a response coming. Right, at the same kind of time period, this is the response. And he said at the same time period, we're not doing day-and-date games, that doesn't work for us, but we do have a response to Xbox Game Pass. And we said at the time, no, at least I did, but probably you as well, you normally try and agree with me, that when you look at what PlayStation are doing, all of their focus and all of their emphasis since the PlayStation 5 came out has been on PlayStation Plus and converting their current user base to PlayStation Plus. Well, PlayStation Now, that is the most direct equivalent to Game Pass, has just sat there not doing a lot. They've never put PlayStation 5 games on there. They've put very little effort into it. Yeah. And they've barely pushed it. So we said at the time that actually it's way more likely that they'll be looking to make something more of the PlayStation Plus collection, or otherwise pushing PlayStation Plus. And the story that's broken, the interesting bits, the questions and the details that aren't there, the things that actually make it like fascinating are... First of all, what content are they bringing to these different tiers? Are we going to get PlayStation 5 games? What tier do you need to do that? Tier 1 is presumably still the twist your arm. You have to have this service if you want to play online. Thing that everybody hates, that we always would go away. But it's very successful with them, right? And PlayStation have... they don't just lock online gameplay behind it. They lock certain features of the PlayStation 5 dashboard behind the subscription as well. So if you... Like the guides to games, if you're playing a game and they've got their integrated videos to help you through it, you don't get any of that if you haven't got PlayStation Plus. So they've had a strong focus on getting their existing users to just squeeze out a little more money, rather than expanding beyond the PlayStation hardware kind of ecosystem. And that's the next interesting point. Is there an emphasis here, like Game Pass, to push beyond the console ecosystem? Are they still focusing on this like 100 million people that they want to buy a PlayStation and trying to get more money out of those individuals? Or are they trying to blow up further in the way that you'd expect? Because that's the direction that the industry is going. And time frame, is that what they're looking at in spring? Are they pushing, are we going to be streaming PlayStation 5 games to other devices? Is this like a move in that direction? Yeah. Over time it will be, but will it be initially? And the third one is obviously pricing. Pricing matters on everything. What are they doing? What are they trying to charge us for these services, these 3 tiers? What comes in each of them? I will say be careful what you wish for on the single player games and the day and date. So when the likes of Sony and Take-Two and all of these other companies come out and say day and date isn't sustainable for us, they're talking about Grand Theft Auto 6, not Grand Theft Auto Online. And they're talking about God of War, not Last of Us Factions, right? If you want those big single player storied AAA high budget games, I don't think the execs are lying when they say they don't want to put those on a subscription service. And if they're going to put more of a focus on bringing things day and date, it will be, it's not single player versus multiplayer, it's games that they can monetize beyond that subscription service versus contained games. And Miles, I saw in your Xbox chatter days today, Jez was saying that he's been really enjoying going back to some old games that feel like real proper games that you can play, you get it, and it's there, and it's the whole game, and you play it. Much as it's not a popular opinion, the subscription services aren't so much geared towards that. You look at what Microsoft are saying in all of their financial reports to all of their shareholders, there's a massive emphasis behind the scenes on the fact that actually they make money beyond that subscription service. They're still selling it, they're still selling content, they're still selling that. Halo multiplayer is free to play. There's a massive drive to monetize all of these things further. So be careful what you wish for, because PlayStation bangers, these AAA cinematics, are one of the last bastions of a contained AAA single player game. So,
wow.
So I would push back slightly on the fact that they are setting this precedent. They are selling you this precedent. They want you to buy into that. But then on the other side, you have Phil Spencer, who is the head of Xbox, who is saying this is sustainable. It's sustainable as it is right now. Like even if we have no additional growth for the service, it's sustainable. I would use Psychonauts 2 as an excellent example of a game that launched into the service that was a quote unquote one and done single player game. Like there's no microtransactions, there's nothing in it. And a lot of these teams have talked about the creative freedom that they have to experiment with more of these single player games that they wouldn't be able to before, where traditionally they would have to cater to multiplayer to sell this, so they could sell all these other things on top of that. So yeah, I don't completely disagree that, you know, maybe some of the big Sony style quote unquote single player games, maybe they're struggling to figure out how that works. But I think as Xbox continues to prove that it can work and we can do it, that is going to make those arguments weaker and weaker. Because I don't think Psychonauts 2 is the only big single player game that we're going to see from Xbox launching straight into the service.
Is it that big, though?
And that's not only
Psychonauts that big?
It's a Game of the Year nominated title.
Yeah, but in terms of
huge.
scope, it's not. I mean, God of War and the grandiose
that's
big
subjective
AAA game
for sure.
It's not
Well,
AAA.
if you're talking,
Budget
but if
isn't
you're talking
subjective.
about budget, exactly. I was
Yeah.
going to bring up the budget. That's a big difference there. However, I do see this being more of an experiment for Sony. I do see them putting some of their smaller games, say their own versions of Psychonauts 2, maybe, you know, a Ratchet and Clank or something like that within this service, and trying this out. Matter of fact, they may try it out more on the PC side of things too. You got to think about that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe their PC, Spartacus, whatever they want to call it, subscription service will have some day and date titles there that you might not get on the console. That might happen. That way, you know, who knows? They might experiment on the PC side more. I don't know.
The other thing to consider, though, when I talk about this further monetization of games, is if you take out Game Pass and Spartacus and remove them from the equation completely, it's still true that service games make more money. So I'm not saying that this is like Game Pass is going to be the downfall of the industry. What's the reality that we have to face is that service games generally make more money. Sony have managed with these tentpole games, but service games make more money. And if you are running a game studio and you've got a top tier development studio, you're a publisher and you're telling them what project to work on. Big budget single player games are slightly at risk anyway, and that's where things like Starfield are hopefully going to do massively well and buckle that trend and remind all the executives that there are players out there that want that kind of game. Monetization is always going to be a problem.
But then, Asa, then it kind of sounds like you're arguing that somebody like myself who's more into single player games won't like a service like this, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
In the immediate, it's the future of it, because this service is quite in its infancy relatively, and games are going to adjust, and they're going to be games that, I can't say what I was going to say there.
If Spartacus is put together very well, and I like what I'm seeing in terms of games within that service, definitely signing up, definitely, day one. That's my jam. I like these services, you know. I go out there and I have Netflix, I have Hulu, I have all these accounts because I like these original programmings. I like what they have to offer me. I like what Game Pass has to offer me. If Spartacus does the same, I'm there. I'm there.
Do you know what?
I do agree with this. Sorry.
I will let you in a second, Gaz, but I also would sign up to that day one, and I sign up to Game Pass, and I love the breadth of games on there, and I believe it can support loads of different models of game. I just think it's a little...
That's the thing. Asa, that's the thing. They need to have those different models within that service. They have to have the gas games as well as the single-player games to be sustainable. They have to have it all. And that's what I'm getting at. They have to have all these types of games in there.
I also like God of War. I liked Horizon Zero Dawn. I like these big Sony games. And
Same.
When all of the executives are coming out from multiple companies saying, actually, we don't see that as sustainable on a subscription service model, I don't think they're blowing hot air. I think they're sincere in that. So.
I want to say, what about Starfield? Isn't that the definition of a humongous budget single player quote unquote
definitely
banger?
Is. Starfield is, that's why I cited Starfield as well as an example, because it's going to have a huge budget. It has to have for the scale and ambition that they've got. We don't know if there's going to be a drive to monetize it beyond launch. Like, it's not typical. I mean, I say it's not typical of Bethesda, right? Bethesda have service games in the past, and they pretty much pioneered microtransactions with horse armor. So who knows what they actually have planned for Starfield on that point. I hope that it's like the massive single player high budget game that we're all hoping for. But it is also a game that was announced and in development before they were even acquired. So long term, who knows?
Yeah. There's a question mark there, but I do strongly agree with you there that PlayStation does feel like it's the last bastion of those single player wholesome Jez Corden's favorite type of game, and gas will maybe compromise that a little bit. Through necessity, PlayStation may have to follow suit, but like Fon says, if you've got a breadth of these games, you can have gas games, then you can maybe balance that out with your Hellblade 2.
Well, that's what Xbox is doing. You see it with Game Pass. You see it now.
But very early. It's very early. They have to go all out here. And
we're talking very early, and we're already hearing sustainable and making a profit.
But we're also, though, so Microsoft's biggest budget game right now has a free-to-play multiplayer component.
Yes. You have to have both. Like I said, there's yin and yang with it. You have to have those service-based games, and you have to have the single-player games as well. You have to have something there for everybody. That's the beauty of these services, or else they wouldn't work if they didn't have something for everyone.
And maybe, hopefully, they can because it's sustainable now. Maybe in future, there's plenty of room for it. So the Starfield example, hopefully, that shows. That can set, like you said, exactly like you said, they can just show the execs that, look, don't forsake this model.
And don't always take Jim's word as 100% true.
Don't ever. Yeah.
And that goes for everybody. Phil Spencer, all these executives.
Phil Spencer's brilliant with words. He's very selective and very intelligent.
Yes, comically selective with what he says.
But we've seen what happens with Jim. Yeah, we've seen what happened with Jim several times.
Jim will just say something completely like, no, that's not what you mean, Jim.
That'd be like, dude, what the?
Yeah.
You know this is coming, dude. What are you doing?
I have to point out that the services thing, right? Like, I like these services, but I just come from a position of having played games for a long time, and the encroaching threat of like service elements is real, and it's not always bad. Sometimes a service game can prolong the life of a game and do brilliant things for it. I just still value those games that aren't monetized in that way.
That's why shout out to Psychonauts 2. Again, Miles brought it up. I loved that game. That game was great.
Kickstarter game though, man. It started off as a Kickstarter game. Eventually got acquired.
Xbox poured money into it afterward as well. Xbox poured money into it, and they created this beautiful game. Sorry, I'm not going to let you guys sully the name of Psychonauts.
No, I am not sullying it.
Fantastic game. But yes, it's not budget-wise. It's not on the level of God of War.
No. It's not even the budget thing. It's just one of those exceptions because it wasn't that transition period. It started as a Kickstarter. Microsoft acquired it by virtue of the fact that its mandate and policy manifesto was that games day and date. It had to be there. That's one of the few exceptions. If Psychonauts 2 was being developed today from scratch, then I'm quite confident there would be some additional MTs.
And we talked about Starfield, but then again, go back to Hellblade 2. A lot of money being poured into this as well.
Exactly. But Hellblade 2 is a very tricky one because that one is if you even attempted to do that with Hellblade, I think you'd have a shitstorm coming your way.
How many exceptions you gonna throw out here, guys?
That's the what. This is it. Psychonauts was acquired. This is a statement of fact. Hellblade 2 is the only exception.
You know what? Talk to us in 3 more years when there's no more exceptions. There's just games. There's just these big budget games within Game Pass.
What about Avowed, The Outer Worlds 2?
Facts.
We don't know these. I mean, those are they're Avowed. These are great games.
Are these all
we don't know
games as a service? Is that what we're?
Are these all going to be exceptions?
They're not going to be exceptions at all. If these are the games, if Avowed doesn't have MTs, massive argument because that's not a small title. If
I have to go back to the beginning and just say I did just say keep an eye on it. right? Be careful what you wish for. Not that everything is already doom and gloom. Just keep an eye on where it's going.
No, we're not saying that.
Ace, and I want to go back to Ace's point. Ace has got a great point. I understand that as a single player gamer myself, mostly single player. I love the fact that we have games out there without microtransactions. I can't stand them personally, but I get they have a place in the industry. Free to play games, that sort of thing. Yeah, go to it. Go to town with those things. You know, people are out there to buy them. I get it, but yeah, there is a part of me that says Ace is kind of right in being kind of leery about this and thinking about this and going, well, what about that side? Because I don't want to see these games get, something happen to these types of games, where they throw in microtransactions or they don't spend enough time on these games. We don't see the budget in these games anymore. I get that. But again, I go back to what Phil Spencer said. It's sustainable now. I think that as soon as Spartacus comes out, I think they're going to get a lot of subscriptions, even at the higher tier, because of nostalgia, period. Yeah. That's going to get a lot of people on this service. And it might get me on this service. We'll see. But, it's all about the games they have to offer. Variety is key. Variety is key.
Definitely.
You put Ape Escape in there. You put Parasite Eve in there. That's it. I'm in. Sorry.
It's funny, isn't it? PlayStation has a tiered bloody subscription service to let you play those back compact games. What's Xbox doing?
Are they locked behind a paywall?
The tier?
Will they be locked? All their back compat, though, like all the games they put out. Let's say they bring out all those games that you talked about, Parasite Eve and these games. Yeah. Is that the only way you'll be able to play it? Is behind this paywall? That's a lot of people are, thinking about that already and being upset about this already.
Yeah, I would imagine yes, because they don't have any sort of hardware solution for playing those games. Like realistically, it's probably going to be cloud streaming for all of them, and you're going to have the subscription service to play all of them. Similar to Nintendo Switch Online, you have to have the subscription to play those, and I imagine it's going to mirror that really closely. But at least with Nintendo, you can play them natively, which is nice.
See, that's, and you won't get that with PlayStation. So, it's going to be locked behind a paywall. And again, nostalgia, hell of a drug. People are going to do it.
Yeah, after the spending ages maligning or trying to downplay back compat and old games.
It's funny, isn't it? Yeah. Sauce videos incoming. Yeah.
Hey! It is, and it's going to be hilarious, I hope. Peter Morland, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. He says, I'm looking forward to the next Saucy Sauce vid. Peter, we're going all out on this next one. Hoggy Channy, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Will the next Source video feature a certain space shooter releasing next week? I think so. The monologues I actually filmed literally on the day or just before I release the video, but it might do. The premise of it's centered around some. I won't spoil it. Face, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. You're very generous. Hitman Helst, I think he's meant Herman Helst, but Hitman Helst also works. Already mentioned that there will be games on PC day and date. That makes sense for them. Last of Us 2 multiplayer will be one of those. Definitely.
See, that's why I brought up the PC thing with this, because it makes sense, because it's not really infringing on their PlayStation 5 and the gamers there. It's a different core audience on the PC, and gamers want to play those PlayStation bangers. Day one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's fine. It's funny how we kind of forget about the PC equivalent, but that is quite important, and that's one way they can really strongly monetize, because their PlayStation bangers do sell very well on PC. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that super chat, Dean Brown. Thank you so much for the super chat. He goes, lots of future single-player Game Pass games are from Western RPG studios and will benefit from multiple expansions to sell post-launch. I imagine. I think so. But if Avowed sells without MTs, Miles, Fonz, you can come for my knees. Remember this moment. Even though I'm speculating here, but I'll put myself on that. I'm not going to sit on the fence like Asa. I'm going to say, Avowed is going to have some kind of microtransaction. And what's the other game you mentioned? That might have it.
We talked about Hellblade 2.
Hellblade 2.
Hellblade 2 is the only exception. That's the only one exception I mentioned.
The Outer Worlds 2?
Outer Worlds 2 definitely will have DLC or microtransactions or something beyond the basic.
DLC, that don't count.
Oh, no. What, paid DLC doesn't count?
It's DLC.
Yeah, but paid. Like, okay, fine. Maybe not DLC. Oh, really? Because DLC is a way for them to make money.
It depends on how big the DLC is and everything.
Yeah, is DLC a microtransaction? Is that?
Yeah.
It's monetization.
Well, it's a
beyond the Game
monetization.
Pass.
Yeah, that's how I see things. Because like that's what Dean Brown is talking about, like expansions to sell post-launch. So that's monetization beyond Game Pass. So I think that kind of qualifies. That's a good way for them to make money. You'll see that with Halo. So very interesting. It's good to get a mix of views here. Interesting week. We've gone way beyond the 2-hour mark, but it's been very nuanced, smart, intelligent chat. Not thanks to me, but there's these three gents who have been it's just been brilliant. Such great chat from talking about Activision Blizzard and their responsibility vicariously and them failing to do that. From Jeff Keighley and his incredible Game Award show. He is incredible, as much as we like to give him shit. He's great show. Jason Schreier, the comic book villain, with his incredible journalistic integrity, bringing the news, which we'll still shit on in the next Source video. And there's so much here. Halo Infinite. Yeah, buy a merch. I just saw that comment. Buy this merch. Buy it. If you buy the Source, you will attract members of the whatever sex you are, whatever your disposition. I was going to say opposite sex, but you can't say that anymore. Same sex, sexual, whatever. Who want you have sex with, you will have to buy this. I don't know where I'm going with this.
All right, Bobby, let's move
Bobby,
on.
No, don't hire me, Bobby. What are you saying? No, but thank you so much for joining us. It's an incredible chat. It's been a great show. Please tune into the Source video. Please don't take it seriously. The Source video is meant to be just chilled.
Satire, people.
Satire. It's satirical. And WNCC goes, Gaz, there's a spade for you. I'm always digging. I'm almost in China now. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Before we go, we have to give the gents. First of all, thank you sincerely, both of you, for taking the time to come to the show. It doesn't get said much, but it's felt. Thank you so much. Miles, I know you had your Xbox chatter days, and it's a bit of a marathon slog, battle of attrition for you sometimes, but you killed it always with your hype, with your great takes, and really just you're destined for greatness. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope you had a good time on the show, and tell people what's in store for you.
Yeah, no, always love coming on. Appreciate the invite. I know Ace was trying to get me on next week for next week's episode, but that's my birthday weekend, and for being real, I'm looking to get after it a little bit. All right, you know. So wanted to make sure I got in sometime, but always awesome hanging out with you guys.
Yeah,
I'll keep it short and sweet. The only thing I want to plug is next week, Xbox Chatter Days, Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. It is the 50th episode, 50 episodes of that show, and I have a special guest. So if you're an Xbox fan and you're looking for a cool perspective from a cool person, tune in. I'm super excited about this guest. I want to do something special for episode 50, and I was able to do it. So tune in. And then if you want to
Phil Spencer's on his show.
Phil Spencer's coming on the show. Why you just don't say that? No. I was going to say it.
I wish not quite Phil Spencer. Maybe episode 100. We'll see where we're at. And then if you want to harass me about any of my bad takes today, just find me on Twitter at @MilesDompierre, and that's it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, man. Absolutely. And good luck for your 50th show. I can't wait to see who this guest is. That's going to be Source.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Exciting. Absolutely. Last but certainly not least is a man whose views align a lot with mine, yet always gets called out for being overtly negative, whilst actually just being critical. Fonz, that's why I love you, man. Not just because you agree with me, but because you are someone who does not shy away from critical discourse. I hope you had a good time on the show.
I had a great time. I was pretty positive today too. I had a lot of great things to say.
Don't change that. Yeah. Don't change because people say, because they can't handle it.
It's not. I still have my critiques, but I honestly just had a good time. Had a lot of positive vibes here today, and I really everything that we mentioned about gaming and stuff, we were basically talking about the celebration of games with this upcoming gaming awards. How can you not just be positive about that as a gamer?
Exactly.
I mean,
Definitely.
seriously, all the crap aside that we give Jeff Keighley all the time, I love the show. I love to just sit there and watch all the premieres and even who wins, who doesn't, and all that stuff. It's a fun time, okay?
It is.
So that's another special time of the year as a gamer. E3 is the other one. Unfortunately, I think the VGAs is starting to become even more of a better thing than the E3 show, I think.
Definitely.
I don't know.
Although
it just
I hope
seems
that
like
changes.
Yeah, I hope E3 gets back to being amazing again, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can find me at Jay Fonzarelli here on YouTube and or Fonzarelli Gaming on YouTube, Jay Fonzarelli on Twitter, and link is in the chat. Thank you for putting that up. I appreciate that. And yeah, it's been a great time. Miles, as always, really cool to talk with you. And your takes are never bad, sir. Even when I don't agree with you, your takes are awesome. Like, I love listening to you. Love your show, Chatterdays. And it was a good time. Thank you, Asa, Gaz, for inviting me. I appreciate you guys very much. And
Likewise.
that's it, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. Definitely. Also, check out Fonz's video on Starfield that I relied on heavily for today's topic. Great video.
2 videos I made on Starfield this week. I made a hype trailer and a video talking about the game. Of course, giving some details out there that some may not know about. I've searched through Reddit posts and all this stuff to make that video.
Yeah.
But anyway, Starfield, man, I'm excited.
That's going to be great. And you actually made a big, and I'm not just saying that because I'm on here, because I actually messaged you about that on the phone. I was like, yo, that's great. Do check it out. And on that very quickly on that topic, like E3, I hope that comes back, physical event. So, and I hope they cut it, it sounds horrible, but close it off from the public, because I think that's where you'll get more like the kind of stuff, bigger stuff that you bring it back to the VGA kind of focus, the exclusive stuff. I think it kind of dilutes the value of E3 maybe, but that's a topic for another day. Asa, how are you? Was I okay? Was I good today? Did I say inappropriate? I probably did say inappropriate things, but I didn't mean it. Maybe. Are you mad at me? I can never tell.
No more inappropriate than usual. That's fine. And I also hate the public.
The public
you were going to ask where people can find me. I'm probably going to stream some Demon Souls in like 10 or 15 minutes after I stretch my legs, and I'm on Iron Lord's podcast tomorrow, Walking the Realm. So I'm sure everyone knows that King David's going to have some things to say.
You're so lucky to be on tomorrow as well.
Front row seat. So yeah, that's the usual time for them. So come along and catch that. And yeah, that's me. What about you guys? What are you up to?
Other than laughing at Blaze 4K Sony Lane Pass coming soon. Oh, Blaze, you're so messy. Where's our invite to your show, man? What happened? What's in store for me? I'm so busy with the videos. I got the review for Halo. I've got a video that I'm working on to Halo Story. Just separate video on Halo Story. And we've got a source video that I'm aiming to be our most ambitious one yet. Which Issa, I need to call you. I need you for that one. You're going to be in a role that has been. I've assigned you this role. You know which one I'm talking about. It's going to be amazing. Please do support us. Smash the like button on your way out. We're working really hard, and I hope you support us. But most importantly, this is a gaming aggregation platform. Support all our guests on our show. They are incredible. They're churning out incredible content. Thank you, all of you, for your support, for your super chats. You're all generous. Even if you don't super chat, thank you so much for coming on. And good luck to win the Xbox. Oh, wow, good timing. I was there. I was inside you. The Halo Infinite Elite. I wonder what the hell is this thing? Or whatever it is. Someone's gonna win it. And I can't wait to see who wins that. Announcing it next Saturday. This Saturday coming? Next Saturday, sorry. You're going to announce it, right, Asa? Live? You're going to do a reveal? Okay. I'm not in next week, but Asa's going to take over, and someone is going to win this dank controller. Look at it. Look at the one. Anyway, thank you so much. It's going to be a great show next week. Please support us as well. And see you next week. Peace!